Rebecca showed remarkable willingness to leave everything she knew in order to be with the bridegroom that she was getting. She says, I will go. There's an element of faith here. She had to trust this servant to go all of that way back. Not only trust her for the traveling, but trust her with her future, her life. It says, do not hinder me, I will go. The servant was determined to leave promptly, and Rebecca was determined to make her home with her new husband. She understood that her loyalty should be now to her new family. Yeah. If the world doesn't succeed in persuading the believer to stay in the world, it will at least seek to delay someone's exit. When you decide to go to the Lord, the world will applaud your devotion, but will say, hey, don't rush, stay here a few more days. As they said then, at least 10, and then go. No, we need to resolve ourselves to do what God says right now. In verses 61 to 67, Rebecca is brought to Isaac and they marry. It says, then Rebecca and her maids arose and they rode on camels and followed the man. So the servant took Rebekah and departed. Now Isaac came from the way of Beer Lahai, and he dwelt in the south. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field in the evening, and he lifted his eyes and looked, and there were the camels coming. Then Rebekah lifted her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she dismounted from her camel. For she had said to the servant, who is this man walking in the field to meet us? The servant said, it is my master. So she took a veil and covered herself. And the servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. Then Isaac brought her to his mother, Sarah's tent, and he took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. So Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. So this servant took Rebekah and he went home. And you can imagine the conversations Rebekah and Eliezer had on the journey. She would have wanted to know all about Isaac. And of course, he'd been part of the family for so long. He knew Isaac since birth. So there was an amazing, I suppose, introduction. She knew a lot about him all of a sudden. Notice there she took a veil and covered herself. The covering of the veil signified a modesty and a chastity and submission. This was how Rebekah wanted to meet the man that she would marry. She wanted to do the right thing. Isaac went out to meditate in the field in the evening. This was the first mention of Isaac since he was left on Mount Moriah. We see nothing of Isaac from the time when he's rescued from death by the lamb caught in the ram caught in the thickets, to the time that he was united with his bride. In all this, we see a coming together of Isaac and Rebekah as a remarkable picture of not only that, but of Jesus and his people. A father desired a bride for his son. A son accounted as dead and raised from the dead. A nameless servant was sent to get the bride for the son. The servant's name was actually Eliezer, which means, and here's something I find really interesting, his name means God of help, or the helper of God. The lovely bride was divinely met and chosen and called, and then lavished with gifts. She was entrusted to the care of the servant until she met her bridegroom. All of this comes together, doesn't it? All of this comes together in an amazing way. They see each other, they put into process the marriage situation, and what the marriage format was then. They didn't have to sign documents like we do now, and probably didn't have to have quite the same format of marriage ceremony that we do now. But they participated in marriage ceremony and they became one unit. This is an amazing story. This is an amazing story of how God brings people together. Now, it doesn't only happen in Scripture. There are many stories of how God brings people together, not always husband and wife, but in situations where they become useful to God. What's God's plan for us as we come together and as we meet people and we become part of their lives? Bless you. Have a great week.